Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back once again to the Ora News broadcast. I'm Daniel Cook, your host, presenting a translated version of the Albanian news for those of you who are more comfortable in the English language. Just 4 days after the local government elections took place, one of the officials of the tax directorate resigned from his position. Mr. Ahmet Prenci was the director of tax investigation, and Ora News managed to get a copy of his resignation letter. The letter indicates that the primary reason for Mr. Prenci's resignation was that was what he calls the denigration of the tax institution by the current tax director, Brasida Shehai. The former director of tax investigation says that cooperation with the tax director was only fruitful in the first few months of his duty. Mr. Prenci says that there was a violation of the professional and legal principles and a distrustful and uncooperative climate. He writes, "For more than a year, your actions and inactions have isolated and denigrated the institution of tax investigation. You have not responded to my concerns, not only in the daily administrative practices, but also in the cases when I presented my concerns in memo format." Mr. Prenci writes that the situation was alarming and that he had no choice but to resign from his post. "Considering this alarming situation, I am resigning from my duty, with the hope that this will serve as a warning for the future of this institution, which is not the property of anyone." Ahmet Prenci considers his resignation to be a legal and moral act. Ora News did manage to contact him directly to inquire further, but Mr. Prenci declined to make any further comments at this time. In today's plenary session, the Democratic MP Astrid Patosi commented on the election results for the Democratic Party. He stated, "We clearly lost the elections, but the government did not win the June 21st elections either. These were bad elections, and this is the least I can say about them. Of course, this is not a justification for our own loss. I think that it does not take much courage to admit the truth that everyone is seeing," said the Democratic lawmaker Astrid Patosi. He went on, "These days I have heard some people speaking who, despite the fact that they lost, speak with enthusiasm about an increase of the opposition and of the Democratic Party all around the country. I do not feel ashamed to say that we did not achieve what we and the people expected from us," declared Mr. Patosi. The Ministry of Local Issues has explained how the public administration is going to be organized under the new territorial reform. After the creation of the 61 new municipalities, around 40% of the local government administration will be dismissed. However, this is not categorically true for all municipalities. The new mayors will be free to hire new employees as they see fit. The ministry explains, "The employees that will be dismissed are those who are being paid from the budgets of the municipalities that are being merged. This includes councillors, heads of communes, secretaries of communes, economists, lawyers, etc. These positions will now be centered in the new municipalities. The new mayors will decide the number of employees to be dismissed or hired," said Minister Hoti. "The government will propose a temporary structure for the administration so that the services to the people are not interrupted." The ministry further clarified that the recent order issued by the Minister of Finance that the local units must settle all of their payables will not affect the services for the citizens. He gave his assurance that the citizens will get the same service as before. The New Democratic Spirit Party held their National Assembly today, and the head of the party, Bamir Topi, gave an evaluation of the party that he leads. After the June 21st elections, Mr. Topi announced that a reorganization of the New Democratic Spirit Party will begin in September. He said that the new structures of the party will be selected through a normal voting process. He added that the New Democratic Spirit has aspirations for the 2017 elections. He said, "In September, we will begin to reorganize every branch of the New Democratic Spirit Party. You are the ones who will decide, not the major leaders of the party. We need people who are sincere in their principles, who maybe lack economic opportunities, but have civil responsibility. We are a party with open principles. Everyone is welcome to contribute. We have very strong aspirations," said Topi. Mr. Topi criticized the Democratic Party, expressing regret for the state of the Albanian right wing. He urged all Democrats to join the New Democratic Spirit Party instead. He said, "I cannot keep from expressing my regret about the state of the Albanian right-wing party. We say to all citizens that the right-wing party cannot function only in the interest of 3 to 4 people, or in the interest of a single person who has held it for 24 years and continues to do so. The New Democratic Spirit is a structured party. This is the party of the future, in which democracy truly rules. Democrats everywhere, you can join this party because here we have the right values," concluded Mr. Topi. A group of Albanian and Dutch prosecutors will be cooperating to investigate the triple murder that took place in Tirana on May 28th, as well as another murder of an Albanian in Rotterdam on April 6th of this year. Official sources from the investigative team told Ora News that this is the first time that such a joint investigation has taken place. The investigation is being shared between the two countries because they have reason to believe that all 4 murders are connected to one another. The Dutch investigators have already made a large file containing information about the murder in Rotterdam available to the Albanian prosecutors. The Albanian citizen Durim Sulku, 33 years old, was shot in the head on April 6th while in his own vehicle. A month later, on May 28th, 3 people were murdered in Tirana. The investigators believe that the murders are connected to drug dealing, and they have strong suspicions that the 2 events are linked. They believe that the assassinations in Tirana may have been a retaliation for the killing in Rotterdam. Currently, the Albanian and Dutch prosecutors are exchanging information about the histories of the victims and sharing other information that might be helpful to one another in the case. Starting on Wednesday, there will be a new ferry line in operation at the port of Durrës. The ferry will take passengers from Durrës to the Italian port of Bari and vice versa. The Ferries Venturis company has been operating for 16 years and has recently introduced its newest ferry, called the Rigel II, which has greater capacity than its predecessor. A representative of the company spoke about the new ship. "The standards and quality of our ferry service have been improved. The ferry has a capacity of 1,800 passengers, 1,200 beds, and can hold up to 550 vehicles. The ship offers 5 large restaurants, bars, cinemas, and playgrounds for children. The new Durrës to Bari ferry line is welcomed by the passengers, who have positively evaluated the cleanliness and safety of the service and the professional staff." That concludes our news for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please join us again tomorrow at the same time for more translated news in English. Thanks, and have a great night.